Hey everybody, it's Mr. Clegg. So today we're going to talk about quantities and units. Now quantities are things like distance, time, uh, speed, and so on. So these are things that we can measure. So in other words, a quantity is something that we can measure. Units are the unit. I'm supposed to not use the word in my definition. They're the unit that we use to measure them. So um, hopefully this will be clearer when I start going through this. So what is the abbreviation for distance? Okay, distance is the quantity. Okay, so in this class we're going to use d. There are also some physics books or classes will use x or s, but we're going to use d in this class. And what are the SI units for distance? SI stands for Système International, which is French for the metric system. So what are the metric units for distance? And that is meters. And so this is the units we use, and the abbreviation is M. Other units for distance that are not the SI units might be kilometers. It's still metric, but it's not the base unit. Miles. So I'm going to write this out. Miles is abbreviated MI, not to be confused with meters, which is just an M. So notice that those are different. You could have, I said two, but I'll give you a few more. Inches, centimeters, these are all distance units, right? And so on. So you could go on and on. Yards, feet, there's so many different units. And in this class, we're mostly going to use meters. We might use centimeters somewhat, or kilometers. All right, so what is the abbreviation for time? Time, again, that's a quantity, time t. What are the SI units for time? Seconds. Seconds is abbreviated S. What are some other units for time? Minutes. Abbreviated MIN. And I really want to point out here, meters is M, miles is MI, and minutes is MIN. So try not to get those mixed up with each other. Okay, minutes. Let's see here. How about a year? A year. Why? We can keep going here. What about hours? Hours. H. Minutes, years, hours, seconds, weeks. I mean, there's so many units of time, but the main base unit for SI is seconds. And what about speed or velocity? We use a V for that. What are the SI units for speed and velocity? Well, check this out. Meters per second. So we use these base units as our base unit for speed or velocity, which is meters per second. So notice that that's meters, not miles, because meters is an M, miles is MI, and of course minutes isn't even a unit of distance, it's MIN. Okay, what are some other units for speed or velocity? Well, what about miles per hour? We use that in the United States. What else do we use? Kilometers per hour in other countries, mostly how we measure vehicle speed. Miles per hour, kilometers per hour, meters per second. Let's see here. You could do any distance over any time. You could say centimeters per hour. If you had something that was moving very slowly, that might be appropriate to use that. It goes on and on. You could use any distance unit, divide by any time unit, and you would have a unit of velocity or speed, because distance equals, let's try that again. Velocity equals, or speed equals, distance over time. And so this is an equation. These are all quantities. So anytime you want to know what the units for speed are, you take a distance unit and divide by a time unit, and you have speed units. So your physics equation can always tell you which one it is. Okay, guys, have fun. See ya.